Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. I'm your host Mark, and joining me today we got Bro Diddley, the great, the powerful. Welcome.
The great and powerful Bro Italy.
Hey, howdy
That's
hody.
my wrestler's name.
Oh, that's a good
The great and
wrestler's
powerful Bro
name.
Diddley.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
man, I would have been great in like 90s to 2000s, like WWE Raw. Like I would have been perfect. I
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
a child at the time, but it would have been perfect,
I think that would have enhanced your character, though. Actually, if you're a
right?
child wrestling and calling yourself the great, powerful Bro Diddley, choke slamming
Exactly.
people.
Choke slamming the Undertaker, just like this kid's on fire, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful
Ah, I
things.
well, that may seem like a random tangent, but I think what we did, we just indulged in one of our you know, more nerdy aspects, just that's what Slaanesh is all about, enjoying things. And we were just enjoying wrestling, even though this is a wrestling podcast. But hey, we're here to
Enjoying it
talk
to the fullest.
fullest, man. When a man wraps his arm around your neck and it's so strong and it's so
So
dangerous, but you also feel safe, because he's not really gonna hurt you.
it's just acting,
That's
right?
Yeah, that's also like Slaanesh, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this episode we're doing another Demons episode, a Demons of Slaanesh, Legions of Excess. So we're gonna talk about all their demons, from the big ones to the small ones, to the ones that fuse to engines, I suppose, and everything in between. Before we get into it, yeah, just me and Brody. We're just hanging out. Gerald is supposed to be here, and he has a letter that he submitted before the show that he requested I read. I haven't read this yet, so let's see what he says. To the citizens of Lorehammer, as much as I relish this chance to dunk on anything related to Slaanesh and their debaucherous hordes, I regret to report my absence as an eventual tardiness at the beginning of this episode, because I've been called upon to take upon a crusade against an army of yellow nurglings, aka mold, in my fortress monastery, aka home, and I'm currently fighting alongside my gene sires, aka parents. Upon successful completion of this crusade, I will rejoin the God Emperor Marcus upon his blessing and the great and powerful Bro Diddley in discussing the disgusting deviance of Slaaneshi demons. May the God Emperor Mark protect you, Gerald. P.S. Seriously, Slaanesh can go to hell. Yeah, very nice.
You
No,
know
it's
what?
all good.
Let's just let's just leave it at that. That's a great episode right there.
Yeah,
Like that letter
yeah, like
itself, perfect.
the imagery I am now invoked with, my mind's pictures of him battling in the floorboards with a mop against demons. Yeah, no, I love it.
Foul demon.
No, it's funny. It seems like everyone was afflicted by Nurgle in some way. Christian was cold and he was talking extra mumbly for a whole episode, which was awful. But that's what happens sometimes when you do these demonic episodes. You summon things that you maybe shouldn't have.
Exactly. It's never a good time. But we're still standing. We're still
Yeah.
standing, Mark.
All right, let's do some quick housekeeping, then we'll get into the episode. April 1st, we are doing a trivia night. Court is going to be running that. And I think the way he has it planned is it's going to be 4 of the lore hosts are playing, maybe more, hard to say. And then also he's doing with the people in the live chat room. They can all play too. He's going to have sections specifically designed for them to engage with as well. So April 1st, everyone can kind of come to the trivia night. And no, this isn't some April Fools where I just send you a link to the Rickroll. No. It's not that kind of April Fools.
It would be good though.
That
I'm
would be
telling you,
good.
that's a great rickroll for a
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
to do.
Yeah. Like, and maybe this is the April Fools. It's like you show up expecting to have fun and then you don't. You're like, ha, gotcha.
Gotcha.
But it's gonna be fun. April 1st, come to the trivia night. It'll be around 8 p.m. EST. And you have to be a part of the Patreon in order to kind of join these things. So join the Imperial Tithe, go to the Lorehammer Patreon. You get an ad-free version for $2.50 and a video version, such as the live stream, for $5. Ad-free, man. Just come support the show. Don't listen to an ad again. $2.50 for like fucking I don't know, 15 episodes, something crazy. Just join the Patreon. Anyways, I always feel like I'm threatening people when I ask for Patreon dollars.
Give me your money or else
Come on,
I'll,
just fucking
I'll
give it to me.
subject you to ads.
I'll put so many ads in your ass, you won't even know what hit you.
You won't even know. But, the other things that you get with the Patreon are the live stream. So you join Patreon, get access to the live stream. There's a live chat room. Some of the people that are in there are great. You get to be a part of something a little bit bigger, a little bit more than just yourself. And then we get a call-in guest at the end of the episode. If we have time, we try to get a couple and kind of go from there. But it's a good time. It was. I remember being on the podcast before and having no live stream, and then coming back on once you guys kind of came back and started doing this, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, this is definitely different. It's a really nice update. So I'm pumped to be here and part of the live stream, baby.
Yeah. Fuzz is in the live stream right now, and maybe I might as well say this. I'll say it a couple times. I'm going on vacation next week, so I won't be around for 3 episodes. And Fuzz, I think, is going to take a couple of my spots. But it's kind of this cool way. I've always said the pipeline to get on a Lorehammer episode, join the chat. And then, we have fun. You call in and we have a great time. And then eventually you're hosting an episode and I can go sip martinis down in Costa Rica. Or in my case, I guess it's up in Costa Rica now, not down.
Yeah, up in Costa Rica. How hard of a life you have living on an island in Panama.
Yeah, woe is me.
I got to go on vacation to a better looking place.
Yeah.
Man, love it.
All right. Well, that's just the kind of excessive guy I am. I've always said, I am at heart a follower of Slaanesh. Not because I'm a filthy pervert, although I do indulge in that with my wife. But no, I am a very excessive person, man. I just like to
look at this hobby, man. We're all followers of Slaanesh in a way.
Yeah.
Gotta have all our cool shinies.
Yo, and like I feel like every army in 40K, it's so personal. Everyone gets this whole thing going. I seen in the Discord today somebody do Black Scars army. I think you were on an episode where we talked about that. But he had them all painted up and he had them ready to go, and they looked fucking tight. Had some lore good to go for them too.
Love it. Love seeing that.
Yeah, fucking tight. No, people just go hard in this hobby. You get taken by it. So we're all serving Slaanesh for sure. I've never actually seen many fist fights break out at the gaming table. I've seen some gaming tables maybe kind of get jostled, but
I have seen pushing and shoving. It's I've never seen a fist thrown, but I've seen some very angry nerdy men that have been very upset with some rules calls.
Yes, okay. That's excessive. Back to excessive. Okay, well, let's talk about Slaanesh. We'll do a quick refresher in this episode. We'll talk about Slaanesh, his demons. We'll talk about true names, true deaths, possession, what it's like to get tickled on the inside by a Slaaneshi demon, we'll say. We'll talk about demon weapons, what it's like to be licked by a Slaaneshi demon, we'll say. Demon engines. I don't even know a weird perverted saying for that one, but you can make it up yourself as we go along. Okay.
It's like a really bad Ford commercial where it's like, have you ever been fucked by your car?
A few times. And then we'll get into the legions of excess, so war gear, and then we'll get into the actual demons themselves, greater demons, all that kind of stuff. But let's get into it. So Slaanesh, the dark prince of chaos, is the god of excess, pleasure, and perfection, embodying both ultimate beauty and unspeakable depravity. Born from the unrestrained indulgence of the Adari, Slaanesh thrives on sensation, drawing power from the desires, obsessions, and vices of mortals and demons alike. To its followers, Slaanesh promises ecstasy beyond imagining, but the price is eternal servitude to a hunger that can never be satiated. From the hedonistic noise marines to the seductive keeper of secrets, All who walk the path of excess find themselves consumed by the endless thirst for more until nothing remains but blissful oblivion. Ah, yes.
It's
Skipping
blissful.
to
Just,
skipping to your own demise.
right. For some reason, it just reminds me of that stupid Mario movie, the one that they just came out with a couple of years ago. And it's like the sweet release of death, and it's like the blue star talking about it.
Oh
It's
god.
beautiful. But Slaanesh is more than just excess. It's excess in demon form. The demons of Slaanesh are as mesmerizing as they are monstrous. Their forms a blend of unnatural beauty and nightmarish horror. Manifestations of the Dark Prince's will, they exist to spread excess, temptation, and torment across reality and the warp alike. Swift and graceful, they strike with hypnotic precision, luring their victims into a trance of pleasure and pain before delivering the final exquisite torment. From the beguiling demonettes who dance through battle with razor sharp claws to the towering keepers of secrets whose whispers can shatter wills, each demon embodies an aspect of Slaanesh's endless hunger. They do not simply destroy, they revel, seducing minds, corrupting souls, and dragging the weak willed into an eternity of agonizing bliss.
I like the kind of describing feeling of hunger for Slaanesh followers, where it's like you always kind of want more. You could always eat another McDonald's French fry, like yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I know.
He's got a McDonald's drink right now.
I didn't get mad at my wife for having all the French fries and the apple pie.
No.
That's not what I'm about.
No.
But no, I
Like,
totally agree. It's if anybody, it's kind of it's a weird line to draw, but if anybody's ever been like a smoker and you smoke and you're always going out and having your smokes or whatever, and then you try to quit, there's a hunger for it, like you just want it real bad.
yeah.
And it's like I feel like that is kind of what Slaanesh brings to the table. It's almost an addiction that you
Yeah.
need to sustain. You need to sustain
Yeah.
it over periods of time but then that thing becomes kind of like you start off with the flavored primetime cigarellos, and you have like one or two every day, and then you're like, oh, this is great, and then it turns into I need pure cigarettes and I need to smoke 500 of them in a day.
5 at a time. If I'm not doing 5 at a time,
Yeah.
I get the shakes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my boss he's a pretty heavy smoker, and there was one day I saw him chain smoking out in the garage, and he's just chain smoking away, and I'm like, hey Tom, you gotta figure out a way to have like 10 of them all at once. And then I looked online, and there was a 3D print filter that can do 500 cigarettes.
500. Oh my
Yeah, and I'm
gosh.
like, for when you're extra stressed, buddy. And he's like, please
Yeah.
never get that for me because I'd want to try just once.
Yeah, there are definitely Slaaneshi demons out there offering people these smoke holders. Like, come on. Just one hit.
Just
Just
one
come
hit. Try
on.
it.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done it.
Unfortunately, the downside about all these kind of, addiction's a great thing, and then it leads you to ruin. And then that's when the demons murder you.
Accurate. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to be murdered by a Slaaneshi demon, you should probably stop smoking, whoever you are.
You don't need to order that 3D printed 500 smoker. You don't. It's fine. Cancel that order. Go buy yourself a tactical marine box set. It's fine.
Tactical marine box. They don't even make those anymore, do they?
Probably not. No. All right. Well,
There you go.
I know the true names of the old boxes. just like I know the
Oh,
true
yes.
names of the Slaaneshi demons. I didn't really mention this episode, but I tried to keep all these demon episodes kind of the same. So if you've heard me talk about true names for the fourth time, sucks to be you, but I know some people listen to episodes exclusively or whatever. So one more time for those in the back, true names. A demon of Slaanesh, though it may be known by 100 whispered epithets in a throes of ecstasies and agony, bears only one true name, a demonin, woven from the raw essence of excess, sung into existence from the currents of the immaterium. These names are not mere titles, but intoxicating verses of temptation, etched into the demon's very being, with the sights or the sighs of the enthralled and the screams of the broken. No mortal names or no mortal voice can speak them without trembling. For to utter a fiend's true name is to feel the caress of a silk-clad nightmare, to drown in a rapturous sensation until desire twists into despair. Oh, this is really nice, and now it's not! And then they're twisting your nipples right off. Yet to know such a name is to wield power over its bearer, a secret coveted by decadent sorcerers, rogue psychers, and reckless seekers of the forbidden pleasures who long to command the Dark Prince's chosen. Ancient perfumed grimoires such as the Scriptum Voluptuous or the Codex Obscuria whisper of these secret names penned in the ink mixed with tears of joy and despair alike. But no binding is eternal. No matter how many runes are traced upon their flawless skin, no matter how many spells are woven to chain their will, Slaanesh servants will always seek release. For there is no greater restraint and no bliss sweeter than a moment they break free. That's kind of fun the way these different demons react to some of these things. Like these demons, like if you capture them, they are happy because ultimately they get a break free, and that's like the most joy I guess they can really feel, maybe for like a quick moment, but ultimately they're still pissed at you.
Yeah, like ultimately they're demons and they want outie.
Yeah. And I got some demon names here. There's fun kind of themes you can see in the letters chosen. Lots of V's and X's and Z's and Y's and L's. Yeah, I think the one I'll go with is number 12, Vein Cor Lithlithlis, and that's the Reaper of Desire. Give me a whirl, Brody. Which one you like?
Let's go. Let's go number 7. Salfectith Solar.
The pleasure
All of these names
unbound.
should be all these names should be said with a lisp.
Oh, man.
Salfecith Solar.
Yeah. I
Love
also
it.
like number 9, Milscor Violet, the kiss that kills.
Ooh, the kiss that kills.
We've all had that
10
kind of
fatal.
lover. Shout out to all our exes. Yeah. Weird.
Right? Shout out to my homegirls.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But when you know a demon's true name, Mark, you know what you have the power to do?
Seduce them.
Seduce them and or kill them.
Oh.
You have the ability to have a true death scenario. Slaaneshi demons, woven from the raw essence of excess and sensation, endure as long as the Dark Prince's desires demand it. Their existence bound to the endless pursuit of pleasure and torment. When slain, they do not perish as mortals do, but dissolve into shimmering motes of light and euphoric sighs, their essence spiraling back into the swirling decadence of Slaanesh's domain. There, amidst opulent palaces of living flesh, and endless feasts of sensation, they revel, perfecting their arts of seduction, slaughter, and whispered corruption, longing for the next indulgence. Whether called forth by the delirious prayers of pleasure-crazed cultists, the intoxicating notes of an unholy song, or the sheer weight of unchecked desire, they will always find their way back to the material realm. Yet even these eternal beings can suffer a fate worse than mere banishment, true death, an annihilation that severs them from the sensation forever. Such an end can only be inflicted by weapons imbued with a force beyond chaos itself. A Grey Knight's nemesis force blade, the exercising fires of a saint's relic, or the cold, soulless light of the Satan. To be slain by such means is the ultimate tragedy, a denial of all feeling, a stillness where once there was only indulgence. For a demon of Slaanesh, there's no greater horror than an eternity of nothingness, forever deprived of the rapture that defines their very being.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. What happens to the demon when they're completely gone? That essence is truly devoured. Is there another level past that of empty devoidness? Oof. Maybe.
Right?
What hells do demons go to?
Right? What? But you came from hell. Where you go now? But I think the other kind of thing that got me was like when they were slain, they do not perish as mortals do, but dissolve into shivering motes of light and euphoric sighs. For some reason, I was just like, they turn into glitter and go, ah,
Ah!
it's just like, like I
The
can't
Space
imagine
Marines
killing
murdering
something.
them. Yeah, they're like, this is uncomfortable, brother. Just as they're mowing down heretics with chainsaws.
Ah,
Ah!
ah.
Fuck.
Like I was just like, stop it, stop dying that way.
Stop it. Yeah,
Oh
that's awful.
man,
Yeah,
just
okay.
beautiful.
One step closer, Brody, to a mental image of what you are like in bed. Now I
Oh
have
yeah,
sounds for it.
you
Excellent.
have the sounds. Now you just need the imagination. And I think by
Oh,
the end of this episode, I think people are going to have ideas.
I think they might have ideas, but that's the point of it. I think it's one of those
I
kind of
think so.
episodes. Slaanesh, man, you just got to go with it. You just got to go with your passions in the moment.
Just got to
Like,
do it, man. Oh man. Um, let's see here. So we did like the other thing too that was kind of interesting was like I didn't know that the Satan could just like true death like demons.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they can.
That's crazy. I never knew that. I
Yeah,
knew like a Grey Knight's nemesis blade, like the force weapons they have, and like a saint has the ability to do that. But like I didn't know that the Necrons had an ability to do that. Like I thought that was an interesting little tidbit that I'm like, oh wow.
yeah. I wonder how he does it. Like if it's like when he attacks it, he almost just flings it into a parallel dimension of its own that now it's trapped somewhere else, or like, um,
Well, you know how like the Satan used to eat the souls of the Necrontyr?
yeah.
What if they're just feeding off the warp soul of that Slaaneshi demon
Now maybe that,
or of a demon?
yeah. Well, but so Satan, they can't interact though with the warp at all though. So that's where that then gets kind of
Oh,
odd, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think it would have
It's a
they'd have to do
it's a crazy
point.
wide world there.
It's a crazy place.
Yeah, it's yeah, like plain J. It makes sense though with their reality fuckery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just have some type of reality fuckery where it's like, okay, like you've just come here now, I separate you completely from the warp and you just like drain away to nothing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So cool, but yeah, and then The only thing that I think a Slaaneshi demon likes more than true death is possession.
Yeah.
Demons of
Oh, that is bad,
Slaanesh.
isn't it? They do like the true death. It's like when they break free from possession, they're like,
Yeah,
yes, and then true death, they're like, yes, and then it's like the next morning where they're really sad. But that's
yeah. Well, it
carry on.
wasn't as sensational as I thought it was going to be. Oh man. Demons of Slaanesh do not crash into reality in a tide of brute force, nor do they fester like a lingering plague. They slip through the veil with whispered ecstasy, a seductive ripple in the fabric of existence. Their arrival is not a deafening roar, but a shiver down the spine, a thrill of forbidden sensation that spreads like wildfire through mortal souls. When the barriers between the warp and real space thin, whether through the delirium of an ecstatic revel, the fevered rites of pleasure cults, or the unchecked indulgence of an empire drowning in excess. The demons of Slaanesh emerge in a haze of perfumed mist and shimmering light. Their laughter laces the air like an intoxicating melody, their blades caressing flesh with exquisite precision. To those who feel their presence, it is an invitation as much as an invasion, a call to surrender to rapture beyond mortal comprehension. Psychers, their minds sensitive to even the faintest warp-born whisper, are particularly vulnerable. For should one waver in their discipline, even for a moment, a demon may slip through the breach, riding the tides of unrestrained emotion like a dancer upon the stage of reality. Some mortals, already lost to indulgence, welcome possession, believing it the ultimate gift of the Dark Prince, their bodies becoming living works of art, reshaped to impossible beauty or grotesque perfection. Their nerves ablaze with endless pleasure and pain. Their minds are consumed by the demon's boundless hunger for sensation. Their hands compelled to strike, to touch, to kill in ways that transcend mere violence. They do not butcher, they perform. These hosts, whether decadent nobles, entranced duelists, or frenzied courtesans, become vessels of rapture and ruin. Their every breath a sigh of delight, their every movement a dance of exquisite lethality. Yet even more terrifying are the demonic constructs that house Slaanesh's unfathomable essence. Through profane ceremonies and the sacrifice of souls, shattered by pleasure too great to endure, towering demon engines are birthed, artful monstrosities of gleaming gold and polished obsidian, their limbs moving with unnatural grace, their weapons singing with the wails of those who will never again know peace. These horrors do not simply destroy, they enthrall, ensnaring entire worlds in an intoxicating symphony of desire and despair until nothing remains but ecstasy, madness, and the hollow laughter of the dark princes chosen.
And
Hell yeah,
just
brother.
hell yeah, our chat
Hell
room just
yeah.
got possessed by Fuzz. Hey, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Buzz.
What's your addiction in real life? Let us get to know you a little bit. What's your deepest addiction?
So I think I mentioned this on one of the previous Slaanesh episodes. I really, really like food. Like like I
Heck
grew
yes,
up
brother.
I do. I grew up, my parents owned a catering event planning company. So I would go in and help my dad in the kitchen, like learn how to cook from him. I grew up as like kind of a fat kid and just have always like if I'm gonna enjoy it, like we're not here for a long time, so I'm gonna be here for a good time. And for me, that's gonna be eating like cheesecake, delicious pizza, sushi, what
Yes.
yeah.
Fuck yes.
That and too many hobbies is also my addiction.
Yeah, okay, so you get possessed by a demon, it's like right to like multiple buffets and then the hobby store, then home.
Oh yeah, like I forget what circle of Slaanesh's like realm it is, like the third or fourth one. That's the food one. I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm out.
Done.
You
right?
got
You just
me.
walk in, you're like, all right, guys, it's time. Everybody keep going. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hear you though, Fuzz. I also am a food lover. I love cooking. I love
Oh yeah.
trying all sorts of different things. So yeah, I get it.
It's the weirdest meat you've eaten.
Um, let's see. When I was little, my grandparents knew people that owned a Chinese restaurant, so we'd go there for dim sum. So I was like probably 7 the first time I ever had barbecue chicken's feet. So either that or at
Yeah.
the Brazilian steakhouse, I found out that I really enjoy chicken hearts.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I figure, you know
Like,
what, if you can gain
Yeah.
somebody's power by eating their heart, if I add up enough chickens, it's gonna make it worth it.
Yeah, man. That noble, courageous chicken that will die for
Fuzz,
its hens.
Fuzz is just powered by chicken hearts.
Right? I mean, if you've played Zelda, you know how furious those things can be.
Holy
Exactly.
moly.
No,
That's
I think
funny.
my weirdest meat I've ever eaten has to be beaver. Yeah,
Ooh,
beaver.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's illegal, man, being a
It's
Canadian.
not. It's not, man.
Okay.
It's not illegal to eat beaver. You can eat the I had
I
beaver
guess
and I
beaver
had
tail. Yeah.
like the beaver tails are like kind of gross. Like you gotta cook them like a certain way. They're really just fat. Like they're
I was
just
gonna say
solid fat.
that's a big fat reserve on that animal, yeah.
hmm And
This is
so,
making
but like
Spanish
if you
so proud.
Right.
yeah, right. If you do eat beaver though, you're usually eating like it's almost like a rabbit, like where you eat like the legs and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's really good. It was like I the way I described it is I think it's like having rare steak but in chicken leg form. It's a different kind of
Okay.
texture.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's all about
So,
eating different things, whether it's
man,
meat
yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
Wild
leaves.
game. Yeah, wild game for sure is definitely where but I used
Oh
to my
yeah.
dad was part of Ducks Unlimited. So we'd go to like all these fancy like wild game dinners where they'd have like professional chefs come in and cook all sorts of different wild game from all over Canada. So like we used to
Oh hell
have like
yeah.
we had beaver, I've eaten cougar before. Moose, deer, ducks, pigeons, yeah, squab. Yeah. So
Nice. You want to be the first one to eat them all.
Dude, it's a good goal.
a little bit.
Buddy.
It's kind of a sweet goal. Yeah, I want to eat every species of duck.
Oh man, you're a
So
Slaanesh demon weapon
I
possessed
am
for
a demon
sure.
weapon.
Yeah. It's just a mouth in this case, just devouring things.
Right. His Slaanesh demon weapon is a demon possessed spatula.
Yeah.
It's just a demon spatula or demon ladle. I just throw excessively hot soup at people.
Right.
I love
Slaanesh
it.
demon weapons are not crude instruments, but instruments of slaughter, but exquisite works of art. Each a masterpiece of deadly elegance and insidious allure. Forged in the Dark Prince's pleasure palaces within the warp, these weapons do not simply kill, they intoxicate, ensnare, and utterly ruin those who fall beneath their caress. Each blade, whip, or razor-taloned gauntlet hums with an eerie melody, its bound demon whispering promises of ecstasy and agony in equal measure. Their forms are sinuous and simply impossibly perfect. Sabers so fine that they slice through armor like silk, barbed whips that move with a mind of their own, or claws that pierce flesh as gently as a lover's touch, only to rip the soul free in a crescendo of exquisite suffering. Every strike is not just an act of violence, but a performance. Every wound a symphony of sensation, overwhelming the victims in waves of unbearable bliss and torment. Those who wield such weapons are forever changed, their movements imbued with unnatural grace, their senses sharpened beyond mortal limits, their very souls bound ever closer to Slaanesh. To carry such a weapon is to dance upon the razor's edge of pleasure and destruction. An artist of death whose every stroke is a tribute to the Dark Prince's endless hunger for sensation. I just kind of kept picturing, the Gladiator movie, and just, are you not entertained? Just, they do it for just the thrill of it. And if you're not killing people in the right way, you're not doing it right. And the demon weapons would make sure you're doing it in the best way, where it's either the most amount of cuts possible, or it makes it so you bow down before them, or however they do it.
Oh yeah, like they're excessively sharp. You're gonna be excessively accurate with them, excessively graceful. They're gonna spill excessive amounts of blood.
Yeah. Aim for the bloody
There's
body
always
parts.
an excessive. It's always an excessive of anything. I just imagine, like, instead of whips, they have razor whips, and so it's like just a whip with razor blades on it. And you're like, oh god, I thought it hurt before.
Right. And these things can, and I imagine, they'll wielding these weapons enhances your own senses as well. So like everything that you're doing is just magnified like 1,000 times. Like just feeling the weapon cutting into somebody, maybe even like the weapon lets you feel them die.
Ooh,
Just every
yeah.
little bit of sensation that you can draw out of the act of fighting with this thing is going to just be jacked up, in your nervous system.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
exactly.
a weird, fun sensation to then be able to feel the people you kill's death, like that moment,
Oh
and
yeah,
you enjoy it. Oh, that's
Right.
Do you want me to read the Gerald parts?
yeah. If you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be temporary jailed for this episode. So, though demons are bound by their intrinsic nature and the intoxicating desires of their patron, mortals have long sought to enslave these beings, crafting chains of seduction and sorcery to bend them to their will. Among the ruinous powers, none fight such restraint with greater elegance and fury than that of the demons of Slaanesh. To imprison a child of the Dark Prince is to entrap an ocean of pleasure and pain in a fragile vessel, for no demon of Slaanesh submits willingly, no matter the force of its captor's will. Attempting such folly invites a seductive, maddening struggle that weaves its way into the mind, a lure that does not relent until the bonds are shattered or the captor is consumed in a spiral of overwhelming sensation. That is a lot.
Yeah, I like this kind of concept where there's like a demon bound to whatever object, and the person picks it up once and puts it down, but then he almost thinks about that object right away, and he kind of just always now forever thinks about it and always wants to go back to it. Very Frodo in the One Ring, where he's just like always kind of putting his hand on this thing and reaching for it, and yeah, before long he's just completely consumed by it, and now the weapon's ruling him or whatever.
Yeah, or even like imagine if you do imprison the demon. Just it's always a little bit more tempting to go back and check on your prison and make sure it's not out. You're going to go back a little bit more frequently and a little bit more frequently, and then it's going to get you.
Yeah. Well, I'll just open it up a little bit to make sure that it's actually in there.
Right. Well, are you still in there? Oh God, it's out. Fuck.
I also like imagine like Slaaneshi demons like getting put into more artistic style things. Like
Okay.
a demon, like a Slaaneshi demon in a spatula, actually not bad of an idea. Or a pen. So it's something that you want to go back and pick up, right? Like a pen with a Slaaneshi demon bound to it. You put it down, you're like, maybe I could write for a little bit longer, and they start writing more and more, and then like by the end of it, they're like hands all cramped, and this pen is fused to them, and they're like, I must write my life away.
I could paint just one more miniature tonight before I go to bed.
Yeah, and then like you wake up in the morning, you like kind of like out of a trance, and you're like, the brush is now part of your fingers, and you have an entire army painted. And you're like, so this is the price I needed to pay to have a 2,000-point army.
You just wake up and look around, and you're like, you know what? Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it every time.
Yeah. Fuck, I love that.
Oh man.
A bound keeper of secrets writhes and purrs within its prison, its form shimmering with iridescent beauty, its every whispered syllable a call to a decadence and ecstasy. The sorcerer who dares to bind it will feel their senses sharpen, their desires twisted and amplified until nothing exists beyond the sweet ache of indulgence. No ward can hold forever, for Slaanesh's temptation is endless, and no mortal can resist the slow unraveling of their will. The longer a demon is caged, the stronger its influence becomes, until the master becomes the servant, their mind undone by pleasure's cruel embrace, their hands compelled to carve their deepest desires into their own flesh, a final offering to the Prince of Excess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, what objects and addiction is everyone thinking about subconsciously right now that you gotta try to get away from? I mean, you know?
I mean,
Hmm.
definitely, imagine some people that have like Slaaneshi possessed bongs and other paraphernalia.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Like,
Shit, they're on the island.
Just one more hit. Just one
right.
more bong, dude.
But even like you can have like Slaaneshi possessed like musical instruments. Obviously, there's the noise marines, but just in general,
Yeah.
like you're saying, anything that's like, I guess you'd think of more traditionally artistic, um, items like we're saying, like writing implements, paintbrushes, musical instruments, like carving tools. If you're a woodworker, you can have your gouges and different carving knives and stuff. Um, you can have like a demon possessed like whittling knife or something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, for me,
Yeah,
like I do blacksmithing. I could have a demon possessed forging hammer.
fuck yeah.
Ooh, I like
But
that idea.
Only forges human flesh.
oh god,
Oh.
oh, it's so squishy.
Yeah. Yeah.
How am I supposed to make a sword out of this?
Right. I don't know why. Like I've got kids, so I watch with like subtitles on for the things that I watch a lot, just so I can actually see what's going on. And the subtitle for the sound squelching shows up a surprising amount of times. And that's just what I imagine, like trying to forge flesh is just squelching
Yeah.
intensifies every time I swing the hammer.
The squelching intense.
Like,
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
a
that's funny.
no.
horrible like mind image.
Oh.
Oh,
But we enjoy it for Slaanesh. We enjoy that image.
exactly. It's actually
Uh,
perfect. Oh man, but in the ideas of these bound demons and everything like that, there can't be that many bound demons because we have legions of excess. The legions of excess are the twisted and depraved demonic armies of Slaanesh. Born of excess and driven to madness by indulgence, these legions fester and writhe in the realm of chaos, sometimes slithering through the cracks into real space, where they unleash a storm of torment, ecstasy, and total decadence upon the universe. Humanity, Xenos, it doesn't matter. They're all just toys for the Slaanesh to break. With a flash of blades and a blur of sinuous movement, the legions strike. The air is thick with violence and allure, sickeningly beautiful, yet utterly repulsive. They move like predators, feeding off the corruption they spread, each blow a reminder of their insatiable hunger. Slaanesh's armies come in many forms with one common purpose: to spread the ruinous bliss of their dark prince. Mortals fall easily to promises of pleasure, but for those who resist, the demons are more than happy to force them into submission. When subtlety isn't enough, Slaanesh commands a more brutal hand. The legions of excess are called upon when a soul must be ripped from a mortal's body, or when the twisted plains of the immaterium become battlefields. Sure, they're no match for the raw rage of Khorne, an unyielding resilience of Nurgle, or the trickery of Zinch. But speed, lethality, no one does it better than Slaanesh's forces. Blindingly fast, impossibly deadly, always leaving destruction in their wake. Slaanesh, the god of whims and indulgence, demands that even its generals revel in the chaos. The keepers of secrets, the dark heart of any legion, are as fickle as their master, sometimes obsessive about one kind of legion, sometimes shifting with each passing whim, and there are those that rise higher. Demon princes, once mortals, now transformed, champions of Slaanesh's Slaanesh's boundless vanity. They're revered even more than Khorne's champions, perhaps because Slaanesh knows how to reward those who bask in their excess. Each legion of excess has its own flavor of madness. The Flayer Legion, pure destruction, an unstoppable wave of carnage as demonettes revel in their bloody work. The Hunter Legions, masters of speed, they strike with lightning precision, flying cavalry and chariots that tear down prey with a predator's focus. The Glamiatrix Legion, pure theater, sorcerers, psychic powers, and mesmerism, weaving webs of irresistible allure. The Terror Legions, they're an assault on the senses, horrific and brutal, pushing even the strongest minds to the edge with shock and gore. The Legions of Eternal Punishments, no niche, just total damnation, every wicked trick in Slaanesh's arsenal, unleashed in chaotic harmony.
Ooh, already we're getting some really crazy different kind of approaches. It's just so much different than Khorne, where it's just, axes and swords. Which legion has which, axes or swords or both? Like this, they had the Glamitrix Legion, and I like this idea of this psychic illusion trickery where, they might make you walk into a lava pit or something like that, or take you down some weird illusion of whatever your darkest fantasy and desire is. All through psychic might. How can you resist?
Mhm. That's the thing, man. It really is like such a different legion. Like when I think of all the legions, like when I think of all the chaos gods, like Khorne is really gonna like be a warrior driven force. It's all gonna be axe, chain axe, sword axe. Like it's gonna be all that, right? Um Zinch is going to be very subterfuge and kind of like looking through and like and hitting you where you least expect it and when you least expect it and then changing the battlefield like we had said. And it's kind of like they all have like these things, but it almost doesn't seem, you can't see yourself going that way, right? Like I can't really see a lot of people going into bloodlust. Like it doesn't happen as common as people think.
Sure, sure, sure. Where it's easy to eat a couple extra cheeseburgers. you know?
Easy to eat a couple extra cheeseburgers. I'm telling you right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
man, a
yeah.
Wendy's double stacker. You get
Oh
about
my
10 of
god.
those. 10 of those. You get 10 of those in you. You're basically a Slaaneshi demon right there.
Yeah, that's the equivalent to murdering one human.
Yeah, exactly. But like you can see in all of these like in the legions of excess, the Flayer Legions, pure destruction, an unstoppable wave of carnage as demonettes revel in their bloody work. It is like this fascination of like ASMR where like they're peeling something back. That's what I imagine demonettes are like. Like they're just
Ah,
ASMRing people.
the squelching's back.
Hey,
Right?
Squelching.
Squelching's back.
you cannot escape the squelching.
Yeah, the squelching is a Tano. The
Yeah,
Hunter Legions, like people super obsessed with speed. Like you can see how Slaanesh is a very like person-driven chaos god.
yeah. We
Yeah.
talk about like how sometimes they overlap in different areas, and so like there is like the hyper violence like you would associate with Khorne, or like the Illusion Legion that you were talking about, Mark. Seems like it has like a touch of Zinch to it, but it's in a different way. Like they're using illusions, but like to kind of like lure you into a trap more so than like get you lost or anything like that, or like really shift the like the way the battlefield looks.
Yeah.
To use your desires against you.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, across the battlefield, you don't see your enemy, but you see your lover. And you poke your head out of the trench, and that's all it needed for the Keeper's Secret to choop, pinch you out, right? Picking dandelions.
Dandelions,
Yeah.
just with the crab claws.
Yeah.
Love it. But yeah, I can see where all of this is like kind of coming from as a person. So but there are still some more to talk about. The Courante legions, they're the strangest. Battle as art, murder as a dance. Their demons pirouette and glide through combat, an unholy choreography of death. They might not be as fast or relentless as the others, but their elegance and their creativity in every kill is enough to even make Slaanesh's cruel heart beat a little faster. Under the Keeper of Secrets lie the heralds, the demon princes leading the subunits, cavalcades of each legion, 6 cavalry formations per legion, because 6 is the number that dances most pleasurably for Slaanesh. The majority of troops, demonettes, seductive, dangerous, deadly handmaidens to their lord of pleasure. For those legions focused on speed and power, such as the Hunter or Terror legions, you'll see Seeker cavalry, chariots, and hell flayers, swift and brutal, ripping through anything in their path. And then there are fiends, twisted demonic beasts often found in the Glamatrix or Terror legions, but rare in the Courante after all. Elegance comes first. The fiends are the claws and teeth that tear into the enemy's soul, but in the legions of excess, it's the artistry of their destruction that truly makes the difference.
I get
That's
that
so
picture,
cool.
picture of like different demons that are just so beautiful to look at, just so mesmerizing and colorful and shape shifting, and yeah, you just get lost in it.
Yeah, just like the movements are so distracting. Like, if you ever
Yeah.
watched professional dancers, it is you just get enthralled so easily by like their movements and their fluidity and everything. And then your head's falling off of your shoulders because they've sliced it off.
Yeah, because they're just so quick, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know how many other people that listen to this are anime fans, but there's a recent one from this last year called Dandadan, and in it is actually a demon who, when they were alive, was like a professional dancer and had a tragic death and became like a vengeful spirit kind of thing, and killed people while dancing. And it was the way they animate it is very, very beautiful. It reminds me a lot of this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Up next,
Yeah.
we'll do.
I was just gonna say the other thing that kind of um like when you think of the idea that Slaanesh is just about excess, I am always kind of like I would see Slaanesh going like farther than the other chaos gods when it comes to their legions. Like they need 6 cavalry formations, but I imagine them having 6 cavalry corps. Like they gotta have like 66,000 cavalry formations, like that kind of thing. For some reason that's all
Yeah.
I can think of. Like
Excessively
weird
endless
number.
titles for everyone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, roll call takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Up next, we got the war gear. The war gear of the legions of excess, such as the whip of unrelenting desire and other depraved relics, pulsate with the maddening ecstasy of Slaanesh, sending its warriors into a frenzy of indulgence and excess. These cursed artifacts thrum with the intoxicating power of forbidden pleasure, their mere presence igniting an uncomfortable lust for the decadent and the depraved. Blades gleam with dazzling, almost hypnotic sheen. Muscles ripple with unholy grace, and the very air hums with the scent of perfumed carnage and shimmering lust. Who's looking at at Brody differently after reading this?
I hope
There,
everybody.
perfumed carnage and simmering lust. There is no slow retreat, no hesitation only the overwhelming pull of indulgence and destruction. Where once stood a regimented force, now surges a tidal wave of writhing demons and mortals, each driven to the edge of madness by the promise of sinful fulfillment. The shriek of desire drowns all thoughts. The ground quakes beneath the seductive charge, and in the midst of the chaotic dance, the demons of Slaanesh scream it in ecstasy as their skulls are claimed for the prince or for the dark prince's twisted throne. Yeah, all of a sudden I go to make my move on my beloved Brody. And then boom, he explodes and demons pour out of him. And it was my folly. Oh no.
No, how could you do that?
No.
Oh no, my demons got out. Oh no.
The way this describes them, with like uncontrollable lust and just like being driven to the brink of madness, it almost sounds like they're one of the, I guess just to use the word, one of the more disorganized legions, at least like maybe when they fight, just like everything, like I said, all their senses are jacked up. They're just raring to go. Their lust for battle, their lust for killing, looting, whatever is just cranked up, and they can't control themselves. They can't stay in formation. They can't, have a hard time listening to any kind of orders. So I wonder that, that's kind of like their benefit in that they are so, like it just drives them to like more brutality and violence and speed and grace and elegance and all of these like benefits for killing, but they don't have any, or at least like a lot less like tactical acumen maybe than like, than like non-chaos legion would.
I remember sorry, Mark. I remember a moment in the books where there's a Slaaneshi, like an Emperor's Children, Space Marine who is like getting stabbed and like getting sliced at, and he's laughing and giggling as he's getting like stabbed. Yeah, and he's like, like, stop it! Oh no!
Oh, behave!
Yeah, pretty much. And so, like, but it's one of those things where I can imagine the Slaaneshi forces being really good at like fainting in battle. So they it's almost part of their excess. They need to make it feel like you've won. You cut me, oh no, let me retreat. And then as they're retreating but they get pleasure from the damage that you're inflicting, right? So as you're giving them what they want continuously, and they're like retreating, so you feel like you're winning, and then they just take it all away from you.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose when you're attacking a demonette and you're like,
right?
It's like moaning at you, and you're like, "Get off me!" Like, you're worse than my dog. Like, try to kick the thing away from you. Like, geez.
I could just imagine a demonette humping a Space Marine's leg, like
right,
just like, get off of me.
Get the
fuck off the demonette's just like harder Astartes.
Right.
Sounds like the Astartes. It's like, oh god. Yeah.
Stop it.
I like that kind of concept that you were saying there, Fuzz, about like almost instead of bloodlust, it's like sense lust, where they get lost in every indulgence and they're just as likely to pick up a new indulgence at the start of a battle. Like, are you really going to keep that sound marine tied down to one sound gun? No, he's going to experiment, I betcha.
Right. It's like reverse Lent.
yeah, exactly. Every battle is reverse Lent for them, so they just go ham.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think that's an excellent way of putting that. Reverse Lent is Slaanesh's way of war. Oh boy.
All right, the rapturous standard. The rapturous standard is a banner, a flag that hums with the seductive promise of forbidden indulgence, a call to plunge into the deepest, most corrupting pleasures imaginable. Its fabric ripples like the enticing caress of temptation itself. Oh, I like that. I can feel the banner fluttering on my face. Oh. Now, where the hell was I? The very air thickens with the scent of decadence as the banner itself beckons you towards the edge of ecstasy and madness. It hangs there, drenched in unholy allure, summoning all who gaze upon it to surrender to their basest desire. Each flutter of its colors sends a wave of intoxicating lust through the air, twisting and perverting every mind that dares to listen, dragging them toward the inevitable abyss of pleasure and ruin. I like that. This is like the one battlefield flag that you want to drop and like just let it go whip around the battlefield and caress things. So it whips past something. Like,
I wonder also, like, I was thinking if the flag kind of appears a little bit differently to everybody who looks at it, and like that's how it like kind of gets into, you know, luring you in for your desires. So like one person looks at it. I'm just thinking of like it's sort of a joke, but like it looks like a different neon sign to everybody. So like, you know, if Jax was looking at it, it would be like, you know, like XXX, like arrow pointing down here, neon sign.
if
Or
Jax
like,
was looking at it, it would say cruise.
right. Or if it was like me and Brody, it would be like, you know, like 24-hour buffet or something like that. Just, you know,
24-hour Chinese buffet. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
That's the good stuff right there.
Oh man, that would be such a crazy way to model a tabletop demon army. Just a bunch of neon signs to a bunch of different like sins.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, but you know, like, you know, yeah, anything like that would be cool.
Fuck yeah. They also have other icons and stuff of chaos. The icons of Slaanesh are symbols of decadent excess, twisted beauty, and maddening pleasure. The most infamous is the sigil of Slaanesh itself, a coiling serpent entwined with a sensuous, almost lascivious curve, representing both the serpentine allure of temptation and the overwhelming flood of indulgence. The heart-shaped icon adorned with barbs pulses with the promise of forbidden passions, a symbol of the ever-thirsty hunger for sensation. The flayed, beautiful visage of a face twisted in ecstasy is another, representing the perfect agonizing bliss that is the core of Slaanesh's dark allure. Then there's the standard of Slaanesh's legions, often adorned with twisted forms of beauty, like smooth, sinuous shapes that seem to shift in and out of view, their fluid motions drawing in the weak and willing. These icons, whether curved into banners, weapons, or armor, seething with an intoxicating power that drives all who behold them to abandon themselves completely, embracing the endless pursuit of excess that defines their corrupt god. Yeah. So these ones definitely are more specific, and they, you know, you might fall to one banner of or icon of chaos and maybe not the other one. Where that first one definitely seemed to change. And then the final piece of war gear they have is the instruments of chaos, the musical instruments. The musical instruments wielded by Slaaneshi demons are as beautiful as intoxicating, as they are horrifying. Made from the finest, most decadent materials, these instruments shimmer with an unholy radiance, their designs crafted to captivate and corrupt all who hear them. The eerie hum of crystal flutes sending chills through the air, while the haunting strains of violins carved from the bone weave a melody that can drive listeners to madness or ecstasy. Harps strung with the sinew of fallen mortals play notes that coil like tendrils around the mind, bending will and ensnaring the soul. Drums beaten with the skins of those who have known the pleasures of Slaanesh. It's a new take on beating your meat, but we'll go with it with Slaanesh. Pulse with an echo that mimics the very heartbeat of indulgence, spurring demons and mortals alike into frenzied revelry. Each note, each chord is a weapon of seduction, an invitation to embrace the god of excess and loosen oneself in the swirling chaos of beauty and torment. Man, Slaanesh does musical instruments best.
That's so good.
Oh yeah. Oh, so sick. But like even like they have it modeled too, right? Like they have like the noise marines for the Emperor's Children. They also have I can't remember what model it is, but it's like the lady playing like the tendons of some guy's like back as like a
I
harp.
think that's called the masquerade or
Is it
something.
maybe I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah,
Chat
something
will
like
know.
that. Like, and it's a harp made out of a dude's ligaments, and he's alive.
Yeah, okay. Which instrument would you want to play of all of them? Like, are you going for the face bongo? Are you going for the people harp? You know, the flute that's made out of somebody's like, oh, this is a whole new meaning to skin flute. What are you playing?
Oh man, I think I'd do like a bagpipes made out of everybody out of the bones of possessed souls.
Okay. Yeah, like the bag is like sewed from their skin.
Exactly. The like all the stems are actually like their leg bones that have been like hollowed out and everything. That'd be
fucking tight. Yeah,
that would be rad.
She's sick.
Oh yeah, and that musical instrument is still a living person that's alive too, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, just
right. It's the sound of it. Right, it's just the person screaming is the noise that comes out whenever you use it.
Yeah, you kind of squish the belly a little bit.
Yeah, everybody just screams, and that's like music.
That's just fucked up.
Right. I'm trying to think what I would do. Like I've never been like a huge like musically inclined person. But I'd probably do something percussion like skull bongos or a skin drum. Just like the guy in the marching band that has like the big drum like on his belly, just like bum, 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 something like that. I also
the guy who keeps the time, but in Excess, you don't keep the time. You're just fucking around.
I'm also imagining like just with all the different like Xenos that worship Slaanesh too, like all the different like even more alien instruments made out of them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like that Thraxis, it's like a squid, colorful squid type Xenos race.
Yeah.
You make
that would be good for the bagpipes. That would be
right. I think doing like using like a Tau's head as like a conch shell.
Blowing in the slit.
It's not the slit. Like it works, I think.
Yeah, no. Do you blow in the mouth hole, the nose hole, or the slit? Like, where are you blowing?
You blow through the slit, and then you cover up the different like mouth and nose holes to make the different noises.
No,
awful.
It's awful, but accurate. Like that's what I would do.
That's
just imagine like the.
Thank God you have a day job.
Right.
Thank God I have a day job. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about my day job is watching over children. I don't know what to
Oh man.
I get just sit in a warehouse full of windshields, so I get to break things every now and again. So that's my excess.
I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I want to break things a lot. Speaking of breaking things, the people that are using these instruments and icons of Slaanesh that are very good at breaking things are the demon princes. Once mortal champions of chaos, demon princes have transcended their former existence, ascending to immortality as favored servants of the dark gods. The demon princes of Slaanesh are embodiments of the dark prince's insatiable hunger for excess, desire, and indulgence. These exalted beings serve as the ultimate manifestations of Slaanesh's will, weaving both temptation and torment into the very fabric of existence. Their purpose is to spread the allure of Slaanesh's corrupting influence across the galaxy, drawing mortals and immortals alike into the endless pursuit of perfection through decadence. Whether leading legions of demons or seducing entire civilizations into ruin, demon princes are not mere agents of chaos. They are living symbols of the boundless, consuming power of pleasure, embodying the twisted joys that only Slaanesh can offer. Their every action, Every movement fuels the lustful cycle of desire, ensuring the eternal worship and glorification of their patron. And now this was really cool. Like I like the idea of the demon princes not just like wading into battle, but being more subtle and like it was talking about influencing an entire civilization, like coming in as like some leader and glorifying the excesses as like the new king of this planet and just
Uh,
leading them all astray.
I'll lead you into a glorious new era. Look, I can turn water into wine. And then people start following this, like, demon prince. And yeah,
Right now, there's
fun
just
times
so much
happen.
wine everywhere, and you got to keep drinking all the
You gotta
wine, and
keep
it's great
drinking
because
it.
there's so much.
Yeah, exactly. Free wine. Get the kids on wine. It's free. Might as well.
Right? Or they
The true
they make
definition of a wino.
right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Winos are Slaaneshi princes. So the demon prince, yeah, the demon princes of Slaanesh are visions of horrifying beauty. Their forms a reflection of the dark prince's obsession with perfection and excess. Their bodies are often impossibly lithe, sinuous, and beguiling, sculpted from a blend of delicate ethereal features and grotesque, often disturbing traits. Glossy, iridescent skin glimmers like polished marble or satin, covering lithe frames that twist and sway with an unnerving grace. Many are adorned with flowing, shimmering hair that seems to ripple like liquid silk. Their faces may be angelic in their allure, with expressions that flicker between ecstasy and cruel malice, while their eyes burn with an otherworldly hunger. Their forms may also bear mutations that are both beautiful and grotesque, extra limbs, delicate wings, or slithering tendrils, symbols of their patron's ever expanding pursuit of sensation. That is also as wild, yeah.
Yeah, I just can picture kind of all the different weird forms that they would take. Like, I imagine the form that they take has a lot to do with the kind of excess that they chose. So if they went down that gluttony path, then boom, it's like this hulking form, like the size of a warlord titan crashing on planets and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's this hulking form, but maybe it also like I don't know,
It
looks
eats
like
people
it's
now.
well, like it's like but it's like perfectly. It has like perfectly roasted skin, perfectly light golden brown, and it's
Ooh.
smells delicious, and then it eats you.
Yeah, it's not the Nurgle type of gluttony.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
if you were a sculptor
It's
and
different.
talked about looking like their skin is like living marble, or if you were like a seamstress, that like silky skin and like liquid
Ooh,
hair,
yes.
like just
Liquid hair.
but yeah, just
Yeah.
like it's like and like the mutations being also like beautiful but grotesque. Like this person has 3 arms and they're 3 beautiful arms, but one of them is sticking straight out of their chest.
Perfect hand
Better for
model.
me to hold you, my darling.
Like,
Yeah.
so the powers and abilities of the demon princes. The demon princes of Slaanesh possess a wide array of abilities that reflect the god of excess's dominion over all forms of desire, manipulation, and indulgence. These powers are a potent mix of psychic prowess, physical perfection, and seductive influence. They can manipulate the emotions and thoughts of others, bending their will to their whims with a mere glance or whisper. The very air around them thickens with temptation, causing enemies to falter in desire or lose themselves in delirious ecstasy. Their psychic powers are capable of unraveling minds, overwhelming foes with visions of unimaginable pleasure and torment. They are also deadly in combat, able to move with blinding speed and unnatural grace, striking with precision and flair. Some can summon illusions or warp the sense of their foes, disorienting them in battle, while others possess the strength and resilience of an unstoppable force, embodying both beauty and terror on the battlefield.
If we go back to that demon prince we kind of created, it's so big and so beautiful, but it's also quick.
Right.
Like, how does it even move that fast?
I mean, do you hear that a lot about like strongmen. Like I remember reading things about guys in like jujitsu gyms or different like martial arts gyms, and they would have these like strongman competitors come in that don't have a lot of like really defined muscle. Like they're bigger guys, they've got that bigger belly on them, but they're just unnaturally fast for their size.
Hmm.
It's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of what it makes me think of. But they're
They make
you're
like a
they're
linebacker out of those people.
yeah, and like even those guys are extremely agile and fast, but they weigh like 300 pounds of solid muscle.
Not exactly. And like that's like the funny thing, man. Like when people are big, you never expect them to be fast. And then when they are, it's like, whoa. Like
Oh yeah.
it's shocking.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right, so the war gear of the demon princes. The demon princes of Slaanesh wield war gear that is as beautiful and corrupting as they are. Each weapon a reflection of their twisted elegance and unholy purpose. Their weapons often have a seductive allure crafted from materials that gleam with a faint, unsettling light, blades as thin as razor wire that sing with the promise of pain and pleasure. Whips, chains, and flails are common, each strike laced with both grace and devastating force, capable of tearing through armor with the precision of a lover's caress. Some wield psychic conduits or instruments of divine seduction, such as instruments that play haunting hypnotic melodies, sending foes into a trance like state. Their armor is as much a work of art as it is protection, intricate and adorned with the symbols of Slaanesh's domain. Some pieces seem almost fluid, shifting as they move, while others are etched with horrific patterns that only increase the fear and adoration of those who face them. Each demon prince's war gear is a unique extension of their identity, drawn from their eternal servitude to the Dark Prince, reflecting both their elegance and their cruelty. That's like so that oh my again, that's so cool. Like I'm thinking of like historical suits of armor that I've seen in museums and stuff, and how they have these like intricately etched and carved patterns based on like who the wearer is in the culture, and similar to like how these princes would have it depending on like which domain of Slaanesh's realm they belong to. You know, you continuing the joke, the big fat Slaanesh, like the big Slaaneshi demon prince of food excess, has all these different like food symbols etched all over their armor, like forks and knives and like turkey legs and drinking
Yes.
horns and all sorts of stuff.
I
Yeah,
love the idea of having etched turkey legs into someone's skin. Like
Worth it every time.
oh man.
worth it.
Yeah, like said, each one, being that extension of the individual, and I'm assuming the weapons probably are as well. I love personalized touches like that, even if it's for a demon prince.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. I think it's so interesting, like I said previously, like in the Zinch episode that we did, Mark, that like when you look at Zinch, it's you can really do whatever the hell you want with like their modeling and stuff and like that, right? Slanesh, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want, but you could just do it more. Do more. And
Do more
more. It is one of those things where I love that, like, okay, I want a keeper's secrets. He has four arms and he's walking like that. If I buy a second model, I can give him 8 arms.
Now we're
One coming
talking.
out of his chest, 2 coming out of his back, and 1 coming out of his knee. Like something
No
stupid.
legs, all arms, all day.
All arms. Yeah. Exactly. So I just think that that's such an interesting way of doing things, and like you can really do weird and creative things with Slaanesh that are you don't have to like with Zinch you can do anything you want. With Slaanesh you just got to buy more kits to make weirder things, man. Like that's all it is. You just got to buy 6 kits and you can make the ultimate demon prince.
Many arms.
So many arms. Well, like you're saying, you can do whatever you want. Like you can really design and paint, depending obviously how good you are, and especially with 3D printing. Though whatever you like, we were talking about our personal vices and desires. You could do that in in miniature form. You could paint the banner to have, say like we all like the hobby, we all paint. So you could do a Slaaneshi banner that has little paint bottles and like crossed paint brushes or something like that on it.
Yes.
Or musical instruments, all the like the banner could be sheet music if that's what your excess is, so anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Just
It's just a
remember that you
McDonald's
might
menu.
have to take that McDonald's menu.
Yeah, the old dollar menu is the Slaaneshi banner.
Jeez. Just remember though, if you take this army to like a game store and you play with it, just remember who you're gonna play with. Dollar menu acceptable. You draw a bunch of big tittied women on those, then hey little boy, you want to play my
This is true.
Slaaneshi army? Or so just
Right.
be wary.
Yes. No, yeah. Lorehammer Legal says know your audience before you do anything like this.
Yes.
Know your audience.
Great. Yeah. Great disclaimer.
Oh boy. But with each demon, like there's demon princes. Now we got to talk about them greater demons, baby. Get them greater demons. The colossal manifestations of the Chaos God's will. Greater demons are the most powerful entities within the warp, short of the dark gods themselves. Keepers of secrets. Purpose: the Keeper of Secrets serves the ultimate servants of Slaanesh, embodying the Dark Prince's obsessive craving for knowledge, beauty, and excess. These mighty demons are both the architects and enforcers of Slaanesh's will, seeking to uncover forbidden pleasures, the deepest secrets, and the ultimate truths of the universe. They are not mere warriors, but manipulators and masterminds, weaving webs of temptation and seduction with an intelligence and cunning that rivals even the gods. Their purpose is to spread the intoxicating influence of Slaanesh, using their vast knowledge and deceitful charm to twist mortals and demons alike into submission. Whether through subtle whispers of desire or overwhelming displays of power, the Keepers of Secrets ensure that the Dark Prince's desires are met, corrupting minds and spreading excess wherever they tread. The Keeper of Secrets is a monstrous yet strangely captivating creature, an embodiment of twisted elegance and horror, towering over lesser demons. Their bodies are serpentine and sinuous, draped in iridescent scales and smooth, glistening flesh that reflects the light like shimmering gemstones. Their elongated limbs are lithe and graceful, adorned with sharp claws that can rend flesh with effortless beauty. Their faces are a cruel blend of angelic and monstrous features, often adorned with multiple eyes that gleam with wicked intelligence. Many keepers have ornate, elaborate horns of spikes jutting through their skulls, further enhancing their unholy majesty. Despite their size and terror, they exude an unsettling allure, an intoxicating blend of beauty, grace, and death that draws all who look upon them into a web of desire and fear. I just got to say one thing. Despite their size and terror, they exude an unsettling allure. It's like that idea of like the guy wants the big goth dommy mommy, and he just
I was just about to say the same thing, right?
I'm just like, somebody's got a muscle mommy fetish, and they're like, please
Right, the
keep
big
her
muscle
secrets.
waifus, absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, please keep her secrets. Don't sit on me.
And I love the continuation of like everything is like terrible and beautiful. So like they've got these
Right.
horns, but they like it's not like like the random horns you might see on some animals, but like they flow gracefully in spiral patterns or something, or the claws are like have like an iridescent sheen to them and are very
Yeah.
like symmetrical and come to like perfect points and everything is just
Perfectly
right.
manicured. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
I've got to go see my stylist after this battle.
I broke an nail.
Yeah.
Right?
I bet Slaanesh's realm has the best salons.
Yeah. Stop this temptation.
Right? Oh man. But the Keeper of Secrets are not just brutal combatants and alluring muscle mommies. They are masters of manipulation, arcane power, and psychic seduction. Their abilities span far beyond physical prowess. They wield vast psychic power to control, deceive, and overwhelm their enemies. Through their majesty of forbidden knowledge, they can manipulate the minds of others, twisting their desires and emotions of their to their will, turning allies into enemies and victims into willing participants in their schemes. Their psychic talents allow them to manipulate the very fabric of reality, creating illusions, bending time, or stripping away the secrets hidden deep within the hearts of others. In combat, the Keepers of Secrets move with breathtaking speed and grace, striking with precision and elegance, their many limbs serving both as weapons and tools of seduction. Their beauty and intelligence can leave foes entranced, disoriented, or overwhelmed, making them dangerous foes in both the physical and mental realms. I
We
loved
need
your little
more limbs.
yeah, I loved your little arm thing. I mean, I had a hard time not laughing. Oh
Please, more
man,
limbs.
more just please, sir, can I have more? And they're like, that's enough. You've got 12.
Right. You're drunk, go home. You get
Oh man. A Keeper of Secrets wields a variety of terrifying and beautiful weapons, each reflecting Slaanesh's themes of excess, elegance, and destruction. Their weapons are crafted with divine precision, often combining devastating functionality with seductive allure. They wield long, razor sharp blades or whips that can carve through the toughest of enemies with ease, each strike delivering a mix of agony and pleasure. Some keepers carry instruments that resonate with psychic energy, allowing them to manipulate their enemies through sound, vision, or even touch, while others wield dark, shimmering armor that seems to warp and shift with the flow of their every movement. Their war gear often bears intricate flowing patterns and symbols that glow with unholy light, further enhancing their beauty and power. Whether they are manipulating the fabric of reality or tearing through foes with unearthly precision, a keeper's war gear is an extension of Slaanesh's boundless craving for perfection, tempting and destroying in equal measure. Yeah.
I like the line about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
I like the line about where is it? Each strike delivering a mix of agony and pleasure. Like I'm imagining, this one of these greater demons fighting, whether it's other greater demons or Xenos champions or Imperium champions or whatever. They're fighting, on relatively equal footing with somebody, and they manage to land like even a little strike, and yeah, it like hurts a little bit, but it also feels good, and like that like just seeps into like their subconscious of, well, maybe I want to get hit a little bit. Let me see how that feels again. Like
right.
Their defense isn't quite as good. Yeah.
Oh, I like that concept.
The line often combining devastating functionality with seductive allure. Like imagine just looking at this guy, he's like coming at you with a sword and you're like, fuck, that sword is sexual. like you just look at it, you're like, oh man, that is alluring. I want that. Like
I can't quite put my finger on it, but it looks phallic or something. I don't know. It just
right. It's like, yeah, like that guy looks so hot, and man, that sword also looks really good. That would look really good stabbing me. What the fuck am I talking about?
Next thing you know, oh my god, I've been stabbed.
There's been a murder.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Keepers of Secrets are pretty cool. Just the fact that they kind of know your desire, man, that's a big thing. They know what you want, they kind of change into it. And if you can fight that, like, good for you, man. Maybe you deserve some type of space heaven or something.
Right. I guess that's their Yeah, like their psychic abilities. So if you do have, the strong you are against, I'm assuming like psychers and warp and stuff, like they're gonna have a hard time finding the desires of anyone in the Grey Knights. Any Sisters of Silence are gonna be like
Yeah.
absolutely trash them. The sisters
Yeah.
would trash the Keepers of Secrets.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
some reason, I think like the Keepers of Secrets, like reading like the minds of a Grey Knight, being like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna find out what you like," and it's like, "Huh, he just likes killing demons."
I was gonna say, like,
Uh,
I mean, I guess
don't
I
like
gotta give him that.
Guess I'm giving him that. That's why.
Guess I'm giving him that.
Oh,
I mean, that
man.
would be an interesting like reversal though. Like these demons, maybe not necessarily the Keepers of Secrets, but like Slaanesh demons in general are kind of like biologically engineered. I use the term biologically loosely, but they're engineered to try to like give you what you want a little bit. And if you do, if that is a strong desire you have, if you can like tap into that, how that could negatively affect them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you can just get them to agree with you on one thing, then before long you've seduced them down the path of chaos. It's a slow little thing.
Also, I just saw Jack's his comment. Looks at sword,
Sort of
smash.
Like Romualdus brings him admitting to sword swallowing. That.
Oh my god, love it.
All right, on to lesser demons. So individually weaker than their towering counterparts, lesser demons are no less terrifying to those unfortunate enough to face them. Demonettes. Their purpose. Demonettes are the chosen disciples of Slaanesh, born to embody the Dark Prince's insatiable hunger for pleasure, excess, and beauty. These demons serve as instruments of seduction and destruction, spreading Slaanesh's influence across the mortal realm by corrupting the hearts and minds of all who encounter them. Their purpose is to tempt, beguile, and ultimately break their prey, offering forbidden pleasures and desires in exchange for devotion to their patron. Demonettes often serve as scouts or harbingers, striking swiftly and seductively to weaken the resolve of their enemies, creating an opening for the greater forces to follow. Whether luring their victims into traps or striking with deadly precision, demonettes are the first step in Slaanesh's endless march to unravel the fabric of reality in excess and indulgence. Their appearance. Demonettes are twisted embodiments of beauty and horror. Their lithe, sinewy forms draped in iridescent skin that shimmers in the light of smooth, flawless marble. Their faces are both alluring and terrifying, with sharp, angular features and elongated mouths filled with jagged teeth. Yet their beauty is undeniable, graceful, seductive, and eerily mesmerizing. Their lithe limbs are long and sinuous, their bodies sinuous and flexible, moving with a fluid, almost liquid grace. I'm getting a little turned on here. Starting to stutter over my words here.
Liquid grace, you say?
Ooh la la, I want. Each demonette is often adorned with dark flowing locks of hair and sharp angular markings upon their flesh, symbols of Slaanesh's touch. The allure of the physical form is both entrancing and corrupting, pulling in mortals and demons alike, while their unnatural beauty only serves to mask their terrible predatory nature that lies beneath their elegant appearance. One side beauty, tits and all, and the other side a crab purple demon lady.
Right. It's like, how flexible are you? Let's go find out.
Let's go find out.
And then you get the crab claw. Oh no.
Quick, boil it. Get some butter.
I'm just imagining from like different things I've seen. You have like the beautiful woman who's like luring the person in, and then their like face splits open in half, and the entire head is just like a gaping mouth or something.
I don't like it. But yes.
But yes,
But
more.
The powers and abilities of demonettes. They're the masters of movement and deception. Their powers rooted in the seductive and corrupting energies of Slaanesh. Their swiftness is legendary, able to move with such speed and agility that they seem to vanish from sight, only to reappear in the most unexpected places, striking with lethal grace. In combat, their lithe limbs and razor-sharp claws rip through armor and flesh alike, leaving behind nothing but devastation. Beyond their physical prowess, demonettes possess psychic abilities that enhance their allure, bending the wills of those around them with whispered promises of forbidden pleasure and desires. Their enemies often fall prey to the hypnotic presence, their minds clouded with temptation and fear, making them vulnerable to swift, brutal strikes. Demonettes are also capable of spreading psychic influence, subtly manipulating emotions and desires, unwavering illusions to create doubt and disarray in their foes. Plain Jane asks, would there be a Xenos equivalent? What's alluring for humans isn't for others, I'm sure. Yeah, like these demons, they like can read your like mind, your soul. They know your psychic desires and stuff, so they will change into whatever. Like if her Rudd, you just turn into a filthy pile of mud, and it's like, oh, I want to roll in it. Like,
right. For a Votan, say like the Votan encounter them, maybe it's like tempting them with, like new technology or material wealth or something like that, like, hey, they're like, you have to get past these demons, but if you do, you can get this like AI tech to help you out with your ancestor cores or something.
I'm telling you right now, busty, buxom dwarven ladies. That's what these demonettes turn into. They just turn into really.
You've already sold me on it.
Oh no!
Your ancestors would be proud with a woman like that on your arm.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. She's got this weird crab claw. Right. She keeps pinching my butt.
Say, Brody, those fine dwarven women, those are your smaller muscle mommies as opposed to your giant dummy mommies.
Just as strong, but compact.
Right.
But compact.
It's more portable.
Oh, man.
Wolf LaFay says, that's a scary thought, them showing me what I truly desire. It is, man. It can be. Yeah. It might not be what you expect it to be, and that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, like that's exactly the thing, is like sometimes what you truly desire is terrifying even to yourself, and then now you have to deal with that, just like reckoning with your own like psyche.
Yeah,
like it could even just that could drive you insane, and then they win again.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a terrifying world out there. I really hope no death by snoo. The wolf will pay put snoo
right there. So many crush pelvises.
Well, maybe we'll allow it.
Yes.
And the demonettes' war gear are weapons. The demonettes are beautiful as they are deadly, reflecting the paradox of their existence, a blend of grace and savagery. They wield long, slender blades that gleam with an otherworldly sheen, their edges sharp enough to cleave through the toughest of armor with ease. These blades, while elegant and refined, are also instruments of exquisite destruction, capable of rending flesh and bone with swift, deadly precision. Some demonettes wield whips, each crack a lash of psychic energy that cuts through the very fabric of the victim's will. Their armor is sleek, almost ceremonial, enhancing their agility while offering little protection, as they rely on their speed and evasiveness to avoid damage. Their war gear reflects the aesthetic of Slaanesh itself, beautiful, elegant, and devastating, used to seduce and destroy in equal measure. Every piece of equipment they carry is imbued with the essence of excess, a symbol of the Dark Prince's touch in every gleaming edge and tantalizing curve. Yeah, cool. Another demon that, they do have some weapons and whips and stuff, and you might find the odd sword in there, but it's mostly claws. It's fun just seeing how Khorne's almost the only one who really uses like swords and weapons like abundantly.
Yeah, like traditional battle gear.
Yeah. And then you don't
Yeah.
get any of them that do any like guns at all. And like maybe magic could be kind of comparable to guns and shooting, but not quite.
Yeah.
I
That's why they have the chaos like Space Marines.
was gonna
They
say like that,
Ah.
Yeah, like if I was to see like a Slaaneshi demon do anything ranged, it would be like using a harp like a bow and arrow or something just ridiculous like that.
Shooting bones. Yeah.
Right.
Fucking
hell
right.
yeah. That sounds great.
I want one. GW, make it so I can buy it.
Right.
GW marketing team, where you at?
So to go along with the lesser demons, we have the beasts of Slaanesh. Unrestrained by humanoid form, the beasts of the warp are chaos incarnate in primal, terrifying shapes. First up, we've got the fiends of Slaanesh. The fiends of Slaanesh are the unrestrained, wild, and chaotic embodiments of the Dark Prince's thirst for ecstatic violence and unbridled lust. These horrific demons are unleashed upon the battlefield to create disarray, inflict carnage, and revel in the pleasure of destruction. Their purpose is not only to tear through the ranks of the enemies, but also to spread the intoxicating rush of the hunt, the frenzy of combat, and the ecstasy of battle. They delight in the fear they instill, their presence a signal of chaos and anarchy. Fiends serve as shock troops and the forces of Slaanesh, sowing confusion, breaking formations, and causing the enemy to crumble under the weight of the ferocity and insatiable hunger. Every strike, every kill is an act of indulgence for the fiends, fueling their endless strive for more. Yeah, these are the dogs that are humping your leg during battle.
Get the fuck off me. Fuck.
Right.
Wait. I kind of like it. Come back.
Right. And just like the way it says, like they feed off of that like fear and terror and everything. And almost like they kind of buff their allies, like giving them that thrill of the hunt and battle, like pack animals.
Yeah.
Let's see. So their appearance. The fiends of Slaanesh are sleek, sinewy creatures with a lithe, almost serpentine build. Their bodies covered in smooth, shimmering skin that ripples with every movement. Their faces are a grotesque blend of beauty and horror with sharp, gleaming fangs and elongated, animalistic features. Their long limbs are tipped with vicious claws that seem to tear through the air with terrifying speed, and their bodies move with an unnerving fluidity, almost as if they are liquid in motion. Fiends possess multiple eyes that gleam with an unsettling, malevolent energy, each one a window into the madness of Slaanesh's domain. They have elongated whip-like tails that lash out to strike and entangle their prey. Their appearance is a blend of terrifying elegance and animalistic savagery, perfectly suited to embody the chaotic extremes of Slaanesh's power. Yeah, man, they're fast and they're terrifying, and they're again like I imagine these like beautiful warhounds that have too big of teeth and too big of claws, and they're a little bit too fast, but they're just these majestic creatures of like violence and fury.
That turn you on. Don't forget these things turn you on.
Yeah, like that's a sexy ass dog right there.
The things you say online. Warhammer legal. It's getting you up some lawsuits. Great.
That's a sexy ass demon dog. Is that better? Probably not.
Much better, I guess.
So the powers they have, we'll just move on right past that. So the Fiends of Slaanesh are beings of unparalleled speed and agility, capable of closing the distance between themselves and their enemies with breathtaking swiftness. Their speed is so great that they almost blur with motion, making them near impossible to evade or counter. They are able to leap great distances, tearing through the air with explosive force to land in the heart of the enemy, where they can cause the maximum carnage. Their claws are not only capable of rending flesh, but also carry with them the hallmark of Slaanesh's dark influence, an unnatural psychic force that induces pleasure and pain in equal measure with every strike. Their presence alone is enough to throw the battlefield into disarray as they weave through the enemy lines, causing terror, inflicting wounds, and creating an overwhelming sensation of chaotic indulgence. As they fight, they grow more frenzied, gaining power from the carnage they create, becoming more unstoppable with every moment of destruction. Man, I like that. I really like that last bit of like the more they fight and the more they kill, the stronger they become.
Yeah, they just keep getting more amped up, more excited. They get more energy in them.
Right. And no, Jax, I am not a furry. I have friends who are, but I am not. Let's see. Their war gear. So the fiends of Slaanesh are armed with vicious barbed claws and talons that can tear through flesh and bone with ease. Their very touch an extension of their patron's will. These claws seem to shimmer with a malevolent energy, leaving trails of psychic influence as they strike, amplifying the sensations of pain, fear, and pleasure that they bring. Their long whip-like tails are deadly in their own right, capable of lashing out to ensnare and tear into enemies from a distance, while their razor-sharp sinuous bodies serve as both weapons and armor in their endless pursuit of ecstasy. They are not encumbered by heavy armor. Instead, their natural agility allows them to evade incoming attacks, relying on their speed and grace to stay one step ahead. Their very appearance and war gear reflect the dual nature of Slaanesh's power, elegance and savagery intertwined in a frenzy of excess and violence.
I like a lot of that leather work that they would do. Just kind of the etching on it, black leather, all form fitted. The artistry it takes to like do that and stuff, even though it's all just demon made, so it's kind of just summoned, but it's still kind of a fun thought.
Oh yeah, and
It is a fun idea, yeah.
Yeah, it's especially like getting down to the beasts, talking about how like the beasts revel in the like ecstasy and excess and lust and everything, and like that's it's a little bit weird that like the dogs are getting horny while they're fighting you.
That'll
It's
happen.
just that lipstick's just coming out, man. It's just happening.
Oh man.
Lipstick. Oh god.
Oh no.
I
Oh.
know. Oh man. But one of the other beasts that we have besides the fiends are the steeds. Whether chitinous, serpentine, or equine, demonic steeds are unnatural mounts that amplify the rider's deadly prowess. Steeds of Slaanesh are the maddened, fanged creatures that bear the demons of Slaanesh into the fray of battle. Embodying the lust for speed, indulgence, and decadent destruction, these infernal steeds serve to carry their riders with blinding speed, plunging into the chaos of combat to spread terror and ecstasy. Their purpose is to enhance the hunt, enabling Slaanesh's minions to chase down prey, cut down enemies with lightning fast strikes, and overwhelm their opponents with overwhelming violence. In battle, the steeds are more than just mounts, they are extension of Slaanesh's very will. Channeling the rush of bloodlust and the heady sensation of indulgence, they thrive in the disarray they create. Each vicious charge a manifestation of the Dark Prince's insatiable desires. I'm not gonna lie, when it said these infernal where was it here? I loved it. Why can I not find it? Into the these infernal steeds serve to carry their riders with blinding speed, plunging into the chaos of combat to spread terror and ecstasy. How do the steeds spread ecstasy?
Uh-huh.
Right.
I just don't understand.
I feel like the use of ecstasy in this part of lore is like from Princess Bride. It's like you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
The
So
beast is just
I
running around with a bunch of needles, just like injected cocaine in people and stuff.
just real ecstasy.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like if we were doing a drinking game for this episode, like every time they say ecstasy or like lithe, take a shot, take a drink. Would not
Yeah.
go
Oh,
well.
dude,
Quick
we should have
word search.
done that.
Oh, you
I
would
would,
be
I would
dead.
be,
Should have done that.
I would be down for like, for that sometimes, something like that. Maybe like
Drunk Lorehammer.
maybe like one of the people who's not the host looks through the notes and like picks like a word or two, and like that's That's the word for the thing.
Yeah.
Play
And it's
along at
for
home.
each person. So like Fuzz gets to drink only when it says indulgence. Brody only gets to drink when it's decadence. And Mark gets to drink when it says Slaanesh.
I'm gonna get wasted.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I would
Yeah.
love something like that. That'd be amazing. Perfect. Anyways, now that we know that they spread ecstasy, we should talk about how they look. The appearance of the steeds of Slaanesh are nightmarish creatures, their forms sleek, sinuous, and impossibly elegant. Their bodies are a chaotic blend of beauty and grotesquerie, with smooth, shimmering hides that seem to ripple and shimmer with an almost hypnotic effect. Their faces are a twisted mockery of grace, with wide, gaping maws lined with razor-sharp teeth, while their long, sinewy necks are crowned with crests of barbed, twisted horns. These steeds have legs that are both powerful and graceful, ending in sharp hooves that leave deep gouges in the earth as they charge forward. Their eyes gleam with a malevolent intelligence, glowing with the unholy fire of Slaanesh's influence. Their appearance reflects both a terrifying, unnatural grace and a savage, predatory power, perfectly suited to embody the excess and madness of their patron.
I love these guys model with their freaking licky tongue. They got all these lithe little tongues. They're just always feeling and probing.
Just a little
Yeah, they probably
wet
make a
tongue
great
sounds.
Every time they jump, they have like a sound they make when they jump. Yeah,
That's all I can imagine.
It reminds me of
man.
like a seahorse and a hummingbird or something mixed together. It's wild.
A seahorse, a hummingbird, and an anteater all go to a bar.
There
They're
you
all
go.
slashy demons.
Yeah.
Oh man, love it. The powers and abilities of the steeds of Slaanesh are beings of unparalleled speed, capable of reaching lightning fast velocities that seem impossible for such creatures. They can traverse the battlefield with a speed and agility that leaves enemies helpless in their wake. Their motion an almost fluid blur. These steeds are not bound by the constraints of the physical world, and their riders can direct them with an unnatural ease, allowing them to weave through enemy lines, sidestepping traps and obstacles with grace. Their presence induces a maddening sensation of pleasure and pain in those nearby, further feeding the chaos of the battle. The steed's senses are attuned to the battlefield, allowing them to detect weakness and vulnerability in their prey. Charging in to exploit these openings with brutal efficiency, their sheer speed and ability to avoid strikes makes them a nearly indomitable force, while their unholy presence adds to the overwhelming sensory overload that characterizes Slaanesh's influence. War gear. The steeds of Slaanesh are not armed with traditional weapons, but their very form serves as an instrument of terror and destruction. Their sharp hooves can crush through armor and bone alike, while their biting jaws tear through flesh with terrifying precision. Their sinewy, flexible bodies allow them to dance through the battlefield, avoiding strikes and delivering blows with horrifying speed. They are adorned with otherworldly sinuous armor, thin but deceptively tough, which seems to shimmer and flow like liquid. This armor enhances their already remarkable agility, protecting them from harm while allowing them to remain as fast and deadly as ever. In the heat of battle, they act in tandem with their riders, becoming one with them in the hunt. The surge of combat and the insatiable indulgence that drives them onward. Their war gear is the embodiment of Slaanesh's excess, beauty, grace, and destruction all woven into a deadly, unstoppable force.
Yeah. Those things would be fun to run around. Like it would just be so quick, like riding a velociraptor almost. You're bouncing around, moving all over the place, licking things, touching.
A velociraptor that just likes to.
Right, yeah. A velociraptor, yeah, with like a 20-foot long tongue. That's just terrifying.
Disturbing, yet arousing.
That seems to be the theme for tonight. Yeah, like everything just has this aura. Hey,
Well, look what
Oh!
Nurgle dragged in.
Oh, he went kicking and screaming. I'll have you know. And Mark and Brody know they saw the pictures.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
ripping
yeah.
open your house, but we're glad you're here. We're talking Slaanesh. We're at the last little bit, just in time to hand you off demon engines.
Good, because fuck Slaanesh.
yeah, you almost dodged the whole episode.
Almost, but this is my punishment for being late last episode, so I'll take it in stride. But I'll go down kicking and screaming too.
Attaboy.
Okay. Demon engines, correct?
Yeah.
All right. The fusion of warp-spawned entities and infernal machinery, demon engines are the unholy creations of the dark mechanicum, melding demonic essence with twisted technology. Purpose. Demon engines of Slaanesh are the twisted, maddened creations that embody the Dark Prince's lust for indulgence, destructions, and forbidden pleasures. These horrifying machines are born from the union of demonic essence and the grotesque, intricate machinery that fuels their monstrous power. I'm getting a lot of H.R. Geiger vibes right now, especially when he's being really, really naughty. So make of that what you will, dear listeners. They plunge into the heart of the battlefield with single-minded drive to indulge in violence, inflicting suffering and pleasure in equal measure. Driven by Slaanesh's insatiable desires, these engines spread excess and corruption wherever they go, overwhelming their foes with a lethal combination of mechanical brutality and demonic will. As instruments of chaos, they wreak havoc across both real space and the warp, their destructive potential limited only by the whims of their masters. Or sick fantasies. Appearance. Demon engines of Slaanesh are grotesque amalgamations of machinery and flesh. Their forms a nightmarish blend of the organic and the mechanical. These engines are sleek, twisted, and often seem to shimmer with unnatural, seductive allure. They have a sinuous grace with smooth, flowing lines and ornate decorations that reflect Slaanesh's obsession with beauty and excess. Their bodies are composed of sleek, polished metals interwoven with pulsating, demonic flesh. I am really feeling uncomfortable right now, Mark, forming an unnerving fusion of technology and corruption. Some demon engines take on the appearance of enormous, multi-limbed beasts, with others are more akin to sleek, sinuous vehicles or chariots. Your wording had really had me going there for a second. Their twisted faces were present and adorned with mockery of beauty, contorted expressions of ecstasy and torment, eyes glowing with unholy fire. Their forms radiate a disturbing sense of elegance, yet beneath their ascetic allure lies a horrific capacity for destruction. Powers and abilities. The demon engines of Slaanesh are unparalleled in their speed, agility, and devastating power, granting them an almost supernatural ability to tear through the battlefield. They are imbued with the warp-infused energy of their patron, allowing them to move with the unnerving swiftness, darting through the chaos of battle in a blur of motion. These machines can warp reality itself, using psychic powers to manipulate their surroundings, overwhelm their enemies with overwhelming sensations of lust and pain. Some demon engines are capable of firing devastating energy blasts or releasing waves of sensory overload, disorienting their foes. The more twisted among them can even manipulate time itself, making their movements almost impossible to predict. In combat, these engines do not simply kill, they indulge in the suffering of their victims, feeding off the agony they cause and the pleasure they derive from inflicting it. So I'm getting a lot of Drukhari vibes, which makes sense because that's kind of what birthed Slaanesh to begin with. So
yeah.
Makes sense. Again, I don't like it, but makes sense. All right. War gear. The war gear of Slaanesh's demon engines is as extravagant and lethal as the engines themselves. True. They are often equipped with advanced weaponry that combines the artistry of decadence with the brutality of war. These weapons may include devastating energy cannons, whip-like tendrils that lash out with precision, or horrific close combat instruments designed to tear through both flesh and steel. I would like to think those instruments are instruments of war, but also musical instruments like noise marines, because band geek here.
For sure.
The very engines themselves are crafted from the very engines themselves are crafted from metals that seem to shimmer and change under the light. Their surface smooth and unnervingly beautiful. Some demon engines have the ability to conjure weapons from the warp itself, allowing them to manifest whips, blades, or even bolts of psychic energy that can cut down entire units. And they might get a good time while they're at it. In addition to their armaments, these machines are often adorned with the symbols and trappings of Slaanesh, shimmering banners, flowing ribbons, and mirrors that reflect the vanity and hedonism of their creator. These additions make the demon engines as much works of art as they are engines of war, embodying the idea that even in destruction, Slaanesh's thirst for excess and indulgence may always be satisfied. So, this is kind of his description of like all this shimmering in the light. It's kind of making me think of Matt, good buddy Matt, British Matt. He either did some Drukhari or some Eldar a few months back, and he actually gave them like a pearlescent scheme to them. Really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about on the last episode how, you know, the gods have a favorite color, they have a favorite number, and maybe they might even have a favorite material, like Khorne likes brass, Slaanesh maybe likes jewels, or like this, you know, material, silk, maybe for
Slaanesh likes baby leather. Like, that's what I'm going with. Like, it's
Oh,
terrible.
Yikes.
If it's extra, Slaanesh loves it.
You're right. Yeah.
Right.
And I will say this again.
Bejeweled baby leather.
Bedazzled.
Yikes.
You is petty, you is messy, you is extra.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and like
Gerald.
and like Gerald, like in every section we've read, is everything is talked about in some way, shape, or form, like having a shimmering quality to it or something.
Thanks,
yeah.
I hate it.
It's been a lot.
I only got 30 minutes left to just express how much I hate Slaanesh, so here we go. I am here in full force.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's let Fuzz get his final word, and then we'll go into Collins here. But we can't have too many people on. So, Fuzz, thanks for joining us. And yeah, what is your final thoughts?
I guess final thoughts, at least for the demon engines. It reminds me a lot of like Slaanesh would love Pimp My Ride. That would probably be the show.
Yeah.
We put a TV in your TV, on your TV's car. It's like, what? You just said the same thing 6 times. Like,
right. I want to.
Yeah, like overall for Slaanesh, though, I think it's really interesting how everything seems to have this like aura about it, from like the lesser demons, the beasts, the greater demons, everything. This aura of pain and ecstasy that it just exudes onto the battlefield, which just it's just very on brand, and I like it.
Yeah, that weird line of pain and pleasure. Let's
every
go
time.
experiment together.
I'll pass, thanks.
Gerald, are you my friend or not? Come on.
What kind of friend are we talking about here?
My experimental Slaaneshi friend. Come on.
No. This ain't what I signed up for. No.
All right. Well, Fuzz, thanks for calling in and filling a spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to be on a couple times next week, which is going to be cool to kind of see you a little bit more.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right. Well, see you then.
Hell yeah, brother. Bye, Fuzz.
All right. Back to the three of us. The show's almost over. I do have notable demons written down, but, we didn't quite get to them in Khorne. We barely got to them in Nurgle. So, we're just not even going to bother. They deserve their own episode, as all things do. So, we'll put them on the back burner. We'll let our nipples kind of unchafen and get ready for another piercing later. But for now, they can rest, and we'll go to Collins.
Mother of the God Emperor. Oh.
First up, we're going to get Wolf LaFay to join us. Give me a little nod if you're ready.
Oh.
All right. Hey, welcome.
How y'all doing today?
Doing very good. Just talking Slaanesh, trying to make my friends feel very uncomfortable. You have beautiful eyes. Can I stare into them?
Really?
Just trying to make everyone uncomfortable here. That's how I get off in the Slaaneshi way.
Oh, no.
You're not gonna make me comfortable. I showered naked with dudes for 8 years. I'm not worried about it. Believe me. Hey, if I could get
All
to
right.
Canada, I'd come give you a kiss, bud.
I'm in Panama nowadays, so lucky me.
Oh,
Hey, so how do you like the episode? Oh yeah, we were just talking. You just finished episode 100, so this is like a weird. You're 60 episodes behind. What's going on?
Oh man, so I had a little panic attack. You guys were ending. It's episode 100. You guys are saying goodbye. So many emotions today. But I mean, we just went through Space Wolves. We just went through, your 100th episode. I mean, I listen to you guys 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Get out of town.
All right, bro.
Really,
Yeah, I've been there with many podcasts.
when I started.
So in all this listening, what's kind of your favorite part about Warhammer? Do you collect minis and stuff, or?
I'm working on my my Necrons right now. Sorry, I actually got you guys in my craft room with my LARPing, and yeah, that's actually a ship.
Okay, crazy.
Minecraft. Oh yeah, no, I get down. I'm autistic.
Okay, so you're just going hard with the Warhammer then.
Oh, just hyper focusing like nobody's business, bud.
Yeah.
There's only one way down the rabbit hole, and it's just go. So
just keep going.
I
Maybe the
haven't-
whole ends. Maybe it does. I've been digging for 25 years and it never ends, but maybe a little more.
Well, here's the thing. My wife supports me.
Come on, you're not getting women. Come on, it's just us.
Hey, hold on a second. Hold your horses. My first game ever was with that woman right there.
Cool.
Nice.
What did you guys play? Did you have fun? Who won?
First game ever. I swear to you, it was with my wife.
Did you have fun? Who won?
Technically, I would have won by round 5. We didn't really read the rules. It was the first match. We didn't know what we were doing, of course, but she was stomping. We had an equal army. It was Space Marines, and she was just stomping my butt left and right. I couldn't roll for nothing.
Oh no! Please don't stop my butt. You do the whole muscle mommy thing, like oh no. Don't pin me down.
Hey, she is an assistant manager of AutoZone, so she's more manlier than I am.
hey, if
no,
she
that's
supports
cool.
nerdy endeavors, she's a keeper, man. So
yeah, that's super cool that
Dude.
you're playing together.
Yeah, no, she's going. I'm going for Necrons. One of my boys is going for Space
good
Marine.
man.
Another one of our boys is going for Orcs, and she is liking Chaos Demons.
Okay. Yeah.
This
so
goes
then
back to our last episode together.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
ladies like chaos.
The ladies
I'm
like
telling
chaos.
you right now, man.
Yeah.
Why is Wolf on here? Get Wolf's woman on here. She needs to be. She's the chaos one. What the hell?
Whoa. A woman on my show? Come on.
It's happened before.
It
Once.
could happen.
If
Yeah,
you didn't know anything, she'll talk you up, man. 20% discount on no trip.
Cool. Well, any closing thoughts there? Wolf, it was cool having you on, and yeah, I think we'll have you on some more. It's
I'd
always
love
fun
to have
talking
me.
to random people.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Boom, gone, just like that. Kick him. That's my favorite part too about the call-ins is kicking people. It's satisfying for me. It's like
your guilty
closing.
pleasure.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Sometimes I just invite people to stage just to boot them again, but then my editors get mad when there's so many files like that. So it's a balancing act, you know.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was, we did a 4-episode journey together on the Legions of Chaos, but don't worry, there's actually one more. The next episode on Friday, I'm the most excited for this one of all the Legions. We're doing Chaos Undivided and the faction that I call Chaos Unbound, which is, I'm excited to kind of expand that concept and thought a little further with them. And just talk about, what that kind of looks like. But yeah, that's an episode for another time. And then Space Wolves next week. Where do we go from here? We do some shout outs. If you want to buy some demons, you can buy demons. Merlin's Miniatures, use promo code Lorehammer. It's easy peasy. You can use the link in the description below too, and then you'll get some discounts. But go to Merlin's Miniatures if you want to buy some demons. And
whoops. And you can come on down to the Grimlore podcast where we talk about Warhammer Fantasy. We have not yet done a Slaanesh episode, but we have done a Marathi episode, which is an elf episode, which kind of leads into Slaanesh. So close enough.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then for me, I know we've been saying Dwarven Horde minis for the last little while for my Instagram page, but that is actually changing.
He lied.
I know. So I've actually created a new Instagram page, and in the next couple of weeks, like we're in the process of getting everything set up. Like everything behind me right now is going to be going into a different room. I've got some things to set up still, but like we're in the home stretch. So
Nice.
and the new Instagram page, and it's also going to be a new YouTube and a Twitch channel. We're going to kind of go all out on it. We're going to do some live streaming. We're going to do some painting tutorials and stuff like that. It's going to be Hobby Hour in the Green Room.
Hobby Hour in the Green Room. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mouthful, but it's the room is all green. So the green kind of walls that you see behind me there, it's not super easy to see right now because it's kind of all in shadow in the back. But the whole room is that color, so it's going to be Hobby Hour in the Green Room, where you can hobby with me and listen to smooth jazz.
Oh,
like
yes,
basically.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole idea, and it's just going to be hobbying with me. Like I think I told you, Mark, when I was kind of floating the idea around that I'm just a dude. I want it to be a place where normal hobbyists can get together and see how other normal hobbyists are kind of doing things. Not everything has to be about Golden Demon painting this, Golden Demon painting that.
Sure.
And it doesn't have to be slap chop this army in 37 seconds. It's like
tournament ready in 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's gonna be some stuff where it's like hobby cheating and stuff like that, but like it's just I'm a normal guy. I want you to hobby with me. That's my big thing. So expect guests for hobbying, stuff like that. Again, Hobby Hour in the Green Room. I've got an Instagram page set up currently, and I'm in the works of getting I've got like the pages are reserved basically for everything else out there, so which is great, and I've got everything set up. I just gotta we're in flux, so keep your eyes on that.
Very cool.
Next couple of weeks.
Very cool. And final shout out just to our Patreon members that joined, Brian B and Joey. Thank you guys so much for donating and joining. The Patreon, it offers you ad free. It also offers you satisfaction of knowing you're supporting your favorite lore podcast. So go join the Lorehammer Patreon. Alrighty, boys. Well, that's an episode. Like I said, the next one is Chaos Undivided and Unbound. It's going to be fun. And if you have any thoughts on that, maybe just shoot it in and I'll read it off. I'll read your ransom notes off or whatever you send me. But all right, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode. Adios.
See you, everybody.
Bye. Fuck Slaanesh.